Somewhere. Good morning. Let's call the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, November the 8th. We're here for a regular meeting. We're going to stand for an invocation, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Father, we thank you for this day and all your blessings. Lord, we realize that everything we have and everything we are is because of your blessings. We ask you to be with us today. Ask you to guide us, draw us closer to you, and Lord, every decision we make, you know what the best answer is, and help us to make that. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Patrick.
Here.
Mr. Pollock.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Wolf.
Here.
Mr. Welly.
Here.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move to our agenda, which is citizens' comments. I think everyone knows the way that operates, so the floor is open for citizens' comments.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, council. My name is Russ Conklin, live at 800 Highway 98, Paradise Shores. First time attending the meeting, I've watched them all. This building looks bigger online. I've been here almost 3 years. Very proud of the progress the city's made. I didn't move here until after the hurricane, but it was pretty bad when I first moved here. But very, very thankful for everything that's been done. The city does wonderful things. The music festivals in September, and the fireworks, the golf cart parade, and Christmas time. So appreciate everything everybody's done. The one thing that I had to bring up to the council, like I said, I've been watching them online for quite a while. Back maybe a year or so ago, they had a list of properties that were getting taken care of, and they talked about at each meeting some of the things that were being done. At some point that went away. I'm kind of curious what happened to it. The code person talked about, you had a list of properties that were getting worked on, what the progress was, and that just kind of like went away. I looked right at 814 Highway 98, that big house across the canal. 3 years, nothing's been done on that house. So I know that was on the list that they talked about, but just kind of curious as to what happened with that little progress list of what was going on with all the property that were getting repaired. Appreciate everything the city does, and thank you.
Thank you. Bill, you want to address the property list? Just so appeal.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing that one to my attention. We continue to work through the list of them. I just haven't been bringing them to the council. I think we kind of moved on because we're dwindling that list down. Is there anything else that you guys would be interested in seeing or differently? We continue to work after them with the department.
I just want him to have an understanding of why we just dwindled them down. We talked about them so many times, and we continue to work on them. I don't know specifically 814 personally. Oh yeah.
Oh, that one with the special master.
That's going to the special master.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Okay.
Yes. Other citizens' comments? Yes, sir.
I'm just here at the mercy of this councilman and administrator, and I appreciate the things y'all done. And I know y'all tired of hearing about it, and I've been told that I really would like we could get 90 more days on their campers for building our house. All right, 5 months, you just can't get it done in 5 months, but I think 90 more days, I'll be in real good shape because I have been working as hard as I can, and I've made a lot of improvements. I sent pictures during the monthly deal as I was supposed to, and I'm just asking for the mercy of see if we can get like 90 more days out of this deal. I talked to Mr. Douglas later there, and I thought it was going to be on the agenda at the last meeting, what I understood, or what we were told, and evidently it didn't. So that's the reason I wasn't here at the last meeting. And then we get a letter, which he told us 14 days, and we get a certified letter, and that's all I'm asking is, if there's any way this council could consider give us another 90 days. And not with what I understand, 4 or 5 of us here. And one of them will probably be gone, my neighbor, he'll probably be gone with it. And less than that, and then like I said, I won't ask no more. If I'm not finished, I'll just move it if we can get that. And that's all I'm asking.
And that's a non-agenda item in terms of the council want to make any comments about it. It's not on our agenda to discuss that particular
Well, I know that's
policy,
I thought it was.
but that doesn't mean that we can't.
No, other than in October, we there was a request made, and we gave additional time at that time. I forget exactly what it was, whether it be 60 days or 30 days to get things cleaned up. But I know as of January 22, the ordinance 778, I believe it is what it is, and you have to stop at some point. And I believe that's what we did. We made a decision to end it.
But ended, it's already ended.
Right.
Okay. Okay, is there any other comments? Okay. Any other citizens' comments?
Alex Hogan, I live on 7th Street. It's more of a question than an issue. Is on the pavilion on the canal. It looks very nice. It's coming along. But last time I was out there, when I was kind of walking around, I did not, in my recommendation or what I would like to see, is some type of ramp coming off the canal for people that are pulling their carts that fish along that area. Right now, the only thing that exists is some steps to get up to the parking lot. So I think it would be nice to have some type of ramp that people can pull their carts. I saw this old fellow that's probably not quite as old as me, but he was struggling to get that cart up there. The second one is some type of wash facility to people that are using that pavilion to wash their hands. I did not see any type of, maybe even a little outdoor shower, people coming off the beach area to kind of wash off their feet, wash their hands if they're going to picnic there or whatever. But that's really the only comment I really have. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Others? Citizens' comments? Okay. Moving to number 6, which is consent agenda. We have the minutes of October 25th. Do I have a motion to approve by consent?
Make a motion we approve by consent the minutes of October 25th.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any corrections or additions? Any objections? Okay. Let the record reflect consent agenda passes 5-0. All right, to our regular agenda. Number 1, excuse me, administrative policy for boat slips. Sandy? That's right. Just back here on the back road, man.
He's bad.
So we have put together a boat policy for the city to know what it is that the council wants to do, and then we've also put together an application form with the idea of allowing people to be able to put in their own boat slip. They pay for it, get their money back over a period of 4 to 5 years, and then continue to pay rent at full value thereafter. And if they wanted to finish with that agreement, that boat lift would then become the property of the city once they had completely had it overhauled, maintained, and with a 6-month guarantee from them that it's in good working order. That would enable us to start the process of getting boat slips in. It would enable us to meet some of the requirements of some of the boaters who want to keep their boats there for longer throughout than just a short stay. We keep the boats out of the water so they stay clean and free of algae and oysters. We have already had, we have the first one that started this whole process off. There are 3 others that have approached us with the idea of doing it, so we could have up to 4 or 5 from outside, not including the city, and then the question would be, does the city want to look at possibly doing a couple of them at the same time? Because if we can get it all together, get the company down there that was going to install them, we could possibly see if we can get a better price from them than we were quoted before. So that's basically where we're at. I believe our legal documentation is being looked at and being taken care of, so that obviously we are covered from all corners on that side of things. So our next thing would be, if you are happy with what we've got, then we can in theory move forward with the idea of actually starting the process, the actual leasing process, and starting to get pen on paper for signatures and so on and so forth with the individuals involved.
So any questions related to the payment plan? We structured it like the first one we did. This policy allows us to do for the same thing over a 5-year period, where the city still collects a little bit annually, like $450, $500 annually, to kind of cover the cost of water and electric that they'd be using during that year.
How many did we have in mind? I mean, I don't think we want to turn them all that way.
Well, no, I mean the thing is, obviously you can't allow a big rush and end up doing 25 or 30 of them.
Because we need that.
Because over a full year, you're on an average size of a boat that seems to be, people are talking about, somewhere in the low 30s. You're talking $5,500 of potential income. But if you were to do that over a shorter periods with different boats coming and going, as in the tourists that come and go all the time, rather than the more permanent residents, you could be earning as much as $8,000-9,000 once we start to get busy. So, although at the moment we're not overly busy, we're working towards that and we're doing all the advertising and so on and so forth. If we fill these now, we have little potential for the business to grow. So it's a case of having some of them done, yes, but by no means a significant number of them. That would be something that would, in theory, be up to yourselves and the city administrator.
And your recommendation for a maximum number for us that you do or to do?
I mean,
at a time, probably a year at a time, and then we'll go again next year.
I mean, certainly, I wouldn't want to see more than 6 go out this year. Whether there's 2 of ours involved in that, or whether it's all 6 are up to members of the public, so to speak. That's again up to the council. But we want to see how it works. If we do too many of them, find that it's not workable, or that it doesn't. People want to put bigger boats in certain places. We want to try to get them all together. But then, you know what it's like when someone's spending that amount of money, they would like to put it where they want to put it. So there's, we're trying to get that balance. If we go it too fast, it could get out of hand very, very quickly. I would rather start gently, let people realize that there's there is a possibility for it, but rather than just everybody jumping on board and us having pile drivers going all season long in the canal, messing up our potential busy period and so on and so forth. There's only so much you can get done between now and the start of next busy season, because that's when it's going to have to happen. We can't be doing this during the busy season.
You had mentioned on the size of 36 foot, 16,000 pounds. We had talked about straps. Do we have to specify?
No. So basically, what's going to happen here is anybody who puts one in can put one in with the device that will support their hull whatever way they want. But when it reverts back, or if it reverts back to the city, that they have to put straps on it before, at their expense, before it becomes the city's property again, because we will have to use the straps. The straps will take a boat of that size, yes.
Okay, and that's specified in here?
It should be.
Yeah, somewhere in there. That's all that.
I try to cover all the bases.
We went through that process that was discussed last time about making them only use straps or the slats for the boat. And it came back to us recommended. We spoke to Jake Cooksey and a few other folks about the wear and tear that those straps cause on a boat over a long period of time. For the temporary person in and out, it's not a big deal, but for the people that are leaving it annually, it was not good for their boat. So it was recommended.
They won't break.
Correct.
Exactly.
That's right. That's what.
But once, you know, if they do decide that they don't, you know, if they sell the property or whatever and they don't want to keep their boat there again, they will have to put straps on so the city can use it for any size boat. Unless, of course, we have, because it could get to the point where we have a list of people waiting to use them, and then it would be a case of we would sign over to the next person and they would have a cradle built for their boat. So, you know, it depends on where we're at and how popular this becomes. I can see it becoming extremely popular, to be honest. And it's just knowing how far we want it to go.
We had spoke yesterday about offering to do 2 of them. The city would purchase on our own out of the canal fund to do this process. If they're going to be installing several at the same time, we think we can get it better than the $20,000 deal by doing it now. We could bring that back to you guys for review, but we think we could do 2 that the city could have, and we could also come up with a way to charge more for rent for that one. So if they have it,
These are uncovered.
uncovered right now.
The issue with covering them would be you would have to put them all together and possibly even put in more poles, and it would get, you know, it could get messy to a point.
We wouldn't have to put it out for a bid.
Well, I can go through that process. I'll make sure of that. I'll make sure of that. It's over the threshold, it would be. So I just have to see what the bid comes back for each individual one. If it's below the 15,000, I don't know what he would come back if we get a better deal, that much of a deal. So I have to bring it back to you with a recommendation.
Stanley, I think you've done good, Fitz.
You tried it.
Very thoughtful, very good.
I'm for.
Question on the finances. So the guy puts in a 36-foot boat. He pays for the lift.
Mm-hmm.
And we charge him monthly for a 36-foot boat slip that deducts from the amount of the lift.
Annually?
Yeah, so basically for a year, at $150 per foot, his for a 36-foot boat is $5,400. Is what we would normally generate from that slip if he was there for a full year at $150 a foot.
And the install of the lift is approximately $20,000.
Here's my question, what if he puts one in and he doesn't use it but half a year?
He pays annually. He's got the contract that Clint's writing is a 5-year contract for repayment.
Well, it doesn't say in here that he pays annually.
Well, I mean, in theory, they're agreeing to the fact that they are going to put it in, and they will.
So
they have the rights to it for until they.
I just don't want to get into where, I mean, if we do this for someone,
Mm-hmm.
that their commitment is for an annual fee, whether or not they use it or not.
But oh yes, very much so. They have to pay for the slip, and
No,
they
it
will
doesn't say
continue- and they will.
That's all I'm saying.
That will never revert back to us, and then going forward from that, we can easily put in a footnote that says if you want to continue, it's on a yearly basis, not on a monthly.
we just need to put it in here in writing that this is only eligible for annual
for annual
service.
slip.
Yeah, we just add the word annual right here in fee collection, and we'll be done. We could be good with that.
Yeah, good. Appreciate it.
Yeah, because somebody who runs for the week isn't going to get.
What if they just leave after the first year?
They still pay for it. They're paying for it up front.
They pay up front.
They paid it all up front.
Yeah.
And it's it'd be our boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just.
We are not going to be left holding the babies.
Will be, how much are the straps for the rent?
I believe at the moment about $1,500, and there was talk about it was up to them whether they bought them themselves first and kept them, with the idea of putting them later, or whether they took that.
Might be a good idea. Might be a good idea to maybe get that as like upfront deposit or something. Because if they just take off, they just leave. We'd have to chase them down to get the money to put the straps on. But
We still got a really good boat lift.
That's where the money is. It's not the strap.
Yeah.
They're all going to use the same size.
We need to think of this now. I think we got to be careful here. We're dealing with a private person on our property. He has no rights. He has no rights to anything. The owner of the person that invests in the slip.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to collect annually.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to deduct it from his cost.
Mhm.
And when he pays that out,
Then he starts paying the
then he
full.
starts paying
full
regular,
Yeah.
regular, and he's gonna do the maintenance.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the only thing that we would be, have to do maintenance on obviously would be the walkways, the electrical towers, the water supply and so on and so forth. But as far as the lift is concerned and the electrical supply from the tower to the lift, that is basically all of his orders.
We're gonna have a little bit of an increased expense for power.
Yeah, it's not a huge.
So the only thing it saves us is that we just don't front the money.
Exactly.
So I don't know how good a deal that is. I'd almost rather front the money and say, here's what we put in and you rent it. Then you don't worry about this. When you start mixing our property with somebody else's stuff that they paid for, I can tell you, there's gonna come with some issues. I don't know what they are right now, but I guarantee you there'll be some. If we go down there and we invest $20,000 and we put it in there and we say, Mr. Smith, here's what it costs to rent this. I'm not sure I like. I'm not saying I don't, but I'm digesting it. I'm just thinking there's nothing to be gained other than that they put up the money.
Yeah.
When you let someone do that on your property, I can just tell you, I think you're asking for problems.
We are gaining the increased sales, that we will have the occupied of the slip. Somebody that probably wouldn't have rented before would be renting in our slip. So we do have future revenue coming from that as well. Because they normally
You'll have to say that again.
They normally wouldn't have their boat in there, so to speak. The first gentleman that came to us was not going to keep his boat in the water and pay the $5,500 a year if he couldn't put a lift in. So we would not have had his revenue, and we get those future revenue once he's paid it off, and we have the motor going forward, the lift, and all that going forward too.
Well, he's just giving us an opportunity. We're going to invest, and we got a sure run.
I agree. The right thing to do is for us to continue to start putting those in ourselves, and that's why we wanted to start with doing a couple of those and come up with.
Well, I thought initially when we talked about it a few months ago, it sounded like I'm questioning if that's the best way to do it for the city.
I mean, in theory, we have the funds in the canal fund that we could afford to put in 3 or 4 of them.
I mean, we're going to recoup. We don't worry if he leaves. We don't worry if he maintains it. We don't worry about any of that. We don't have to hunt him down. We don't have to do anything.
They pay the annual up front, though, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
So why don't we collect the annual fee? So why don't we
But then,
cut it to a third and
The
let them
issue-
pay the annual fee and then go 2 years?
The issue would be that in theory that we would be
City
stuck
would
with
pay
having
for
to
it, not
change, for example, this particular individual, the first guy that approached us doesn't want to use straps, he wants to use a cradle. So if we own the slip, are we going to build a cradle for every boat that wants to go in there for a year? Because a lot of
You
them don't
don't
want to
rent
use straps.
slips, you're going to have to rent these guys with these boats. Here's how I want,
And this
if you want a
individual,
white Ford, you're going to have a hard time selling somebody a black.
Maybe we could put it down.
My point being, the boat people want, they want their boat on a certain, I don't think it's the kind of thing saying that you can say, here's what we offer you, take it or leave it.
well, no, but what I'm getting at is if the city owns it, the city can only put straps on it.
We can put strap for a cradle, but if you,
Well, we can't, I mean, we say if you wanted to put your boat there and you decided now that it belongs to the city and we can rent it for 6 months rather than 12 months and continually over 12 months, I have to keep changing out straps and cradles every time somebody else wants to use the boat because it only fits, in theory, one hull at any one time.
that's what you're going to have now.
Maybe we could limit this policy to 10% of the total number of slips so that we don't overextend ourselves.
Well,
If something
this
just
may
comes up-
work. I'm just not convinced that it's
Well, here's one thing
the
that
best thing to do for me.
it says in this that if they vacate the slip, then they have to install straps, and the ownership is transferred to the city for rental to anybody else. I think once that slip is put in, the boat lift is put into that slip, the ownership is ours. Right there.
It's an improvement to our property.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's ours. I mean, I wouldn't say that after he vacates it,
Well, okay, yeah.
I mean, once that slip's in there, it's ours. And now we'll have an agreement with him where he can stay there and we'll work out how the payment plan's gonna be and everything. Once it's in there, it's ours.
But they have to pay the maintenance of it.
I mean, that'll relieve
Okay.
your thing.
Maybe we need to do one. Maybe we need to do one and then say, wait a minute.
And I think we need,
Let's see.
the agreement that I'm writing up needs to be really detailed and so there's no vagaries.
I understand.
Are you saying do one the city buys one?
No, maybe this will work. My experience with private and public,
I see what you're talking about there, and I agree with that.
I just think you know,
It's something to be concerned with.
10% of them would be 5, so we would not go any more than 5. I don't know what the response is going to be. He said he's had 3 or 4 people sniffing around asking
I mean,
questions.
it sounds good they're using their money. That sounds good.
They're taking care of it.
They're taking care of, that sounds good.
I'll lose the fact that we do have one bid, and so
I don't know, I'm trying to think of what would really go bad, I mean, not bad, but what would be something.
Because if they don't like it, maybe we can ask them to leave and
One thing.
they still gotta leave it behind.
I like the idea it's not our money. I like that idea. And I like the idea that they.
All right. Well, why don't we make a few changes unless others have got ideas, and we'll see how it works. Maybe that's what we need to do. It isn't like we,
No, we didn't.
Well, this is a discussion for everybody to, voice their opinions or worries, whatever it might be.
So would you like us to bring it back a later date, make a couple of those corrections you guys talked about with the
well,
annual payment? or-
I think those are simple corrections, just those little things. It's in concept, is everybody comfortable?
we already
Fine.
one of them.
Huh?
We agreed to one last meeting.
I know we did, that's what I mean, I've been thinking about that. Maybe I'm making it more difficult. All right. Is everybody okay then? All right, so this is an agenda item. And I think y'all are looking for approval of the application, I guess you would say.
Just to make sure that we're doing it the way that you want us to do, that we're not leading you down a path that you'd rather not go, or,
All right.
I got just the application, we're not approving anything except
No,
that.
in theory, we would come to you every time we're actually going to allow somebody in to be sure that you're happy with what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, it belongs to the people that actually going to meet you, and you're their representative, so.
Well, all right. Go ahead, anybody. Or make a motion.
I'll make a motion
Good.
to approve the application.
Well, it's the policy.
Policy, the city votes with it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, further discussion, any comments? We'll pass up. All right, call the roll, please.
Mayor Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Wade?
Yes.
All right,
Thank you.
administer it. All right, let's see what happens. All right, ordinance 801. Clint, that's you.
That's me, Mayor. Ordinance 801 is the ordinance to annex the 80 acres that is on the east side of town that we purchased from the Port St. Joe Company. St. Joe Company. This is initiating the process, and what I would be asking the council to do is to make a motion for a first reading.
Okay, are there any comments on this from the floor? Public here, Justin? Okay.
Is this title only?
Yes. This is the first reading.
I'll make a motion to read ordinance 801 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please read.
Ordinance 801. An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, providing for the voluntary annexation of parcel ID number 04186-000-000, providing a legal description of the lands to be annexed, more specifically described in this ordinance as petitioned by the property owner pursuant to section 171.044 Florida statutes, providing for the redefining of the city boundaries to include said land, making certain findings, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, thank you. We'll add that to our special meeting for our next week. All right, City Administrator number 3.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This is for the council to appoint a member to the St. Andrews and St. Joseph Bay Estuary Program. This position was formerly held by Mr. Key. When he left the council, it had been vacant. They meet quarterly. I've attached a brief overview of the roles and responsibilities. I believe it is a voting member, so therefore we need to formally establish a participant to attend these meetings.
Okay. I'd like to do this. Is there a volunteer?
I think Richard would be good.
Oh, you volunteered for me? Oh, what do you think about that, Rick? Rick might think Jerry would be
I like the way you put that, volunteer. Go ahead,
All right.
Richard, volunteer.
All right, do we have a volunteer?
If nobody really wants to, I'll do it.
I'm glad that's on tape.
Nobody wants to.
All right. Any opposition? All right. You're in. All right. What is your
That was good.
All right.
I learned in the military a long time
Don't
ago.
all oppose at once, guys.
Adrian, I'll send you the information.
All right.
Oh, please.
I know. All is with us.
Thank you for volunteering.
It's lengthy discussion, my
Okay, number 4.
Yes, sir. The next item on the list is related to the Shaded X flood zone maximum height measurement. With me today, I have Gina Johnston from our floodplain administrator team to come up and give a brief explanation for us. Pass this around.
Good morning.
Good
Mayor,
morning.
Council. Good to see you guys again. Like Doug said, I'm here to talk about the building height.
Excuse me, please.
So the goal for this discussion is for the council to provide direction to the city administrator and the building department. A little bit of history about how we got to where we are, for those of you that weren't here during the time. November 2020, the council decided they wanted to change the floodplain ordinance. The main change for that was to remove the elevation requirement from the 500-year elevation. That ordinance was adopted in December 2020. During the discussions leading up to that, it was determined that the council was concerned about the allowable building height for anyone that chose to build to that old floodplain regulation, to that 500-year elevation. They didn't want them to be penalized for that. So the council at the time instructed the attorney to go ahead and draft an ordinance. And what that was addressing is that in Mexico Beach, the building height is measured from your required finished floor. So the minimum elevation that you're required to build to for your finished floor, that's where building height starts. And then you measure up from there. So when you changed from building height or finished floor here to finished floor here, people that chose to go here lost this much building height. And that varied from a foot to 6 feet throughout the city. So in January of 2021, after the attorney was instructed to go do that ordinance, I sent out an email that said, here's a new floodplain ordinance. I guess I skipped that part. I actually was part of the building department at the time. So I sent out an email. It says, here's the new ordinance to all of our local engineers, contractors, surveyors, and here's the changes that are important to you guys. The last thing I said was, owners will not be penalized for building to the old requirement. They will not be penalized in height. And we proceeded forth. I reviewed plans, I approved plans, we had permits, everything just rocked on until December of 2021 when I left the building department. Then about 6 weeks ago, I was approached by the building department with issues on this. Because it was concerning floodplain, they had questions And my knee-jerk reaction was, where took care of that? Look for the ordinance, it's there. Well, Tammy looked for the ordinance. She couldn't find it. I looked for the ordinance, I couldn't find it. It never existed. It never got brought to the council, it never got approved. So for a year, I approved plans based on an ordinance that did not exist. So that's how we are where we are today. Today, the building department is holding some plans that don't meet building height based on this allowance that never actually existed. So, I think Mark Twain says, it isn't what you don't know that gets you in trouble, it's what you know for certain that just ain't so. So, that's how we're here, and that's why we're here, and if this council agrees that they would like for that to continue, then I've got a little write-up that I've provided for you guys so that we can get something in the minutes that's recorded that says, yes, this is the path we want to go down, and then that's kind of a temporary fix, and then the permanent fix would be to actually change the land development code. If you don't agree with it, then we can definitely go that route also. So, I'm here to answer any questions.
She was clear, and you guys were clear in the meeting, that the intent was to do exactly what she said. However, it did not get formally memorialized. So that's what this does for us today. It allows the wheels to keep turning for the building department. Doesn't change anything that you guys approved. And then we'll bring back the land development code changes accordingly.
Questions for Gene? In terms of just clarification of questions from anyone concerning building height and okay. So, we need
The ordinance that was never written.
Yeah, we'll bring that back.
Mark Twain said it best. I agree. Here's the thing about, as far as today, I think there is really nothing to formalize. It is simply an acknowledgement that we're doing what we said and what we actually have been doing.
Yeah, right.
And then get it straightened out formally in the LDR.
Yes, sir.
And the comp plan vote. I guess it should be part of, no, it'll be in the LDR. So that's something we need to task
Me to write up the ordinance.
to write that ordinance to get it recorded. And other than that, is there anyone that disagrees with what Gina gave us today? And is there any questions about it? Okay. Scribner's error.
I wish.
I hadn't heard of that in a long time.
That's not for the water department.
Pull that out. Should we vote? Should we have a vote with consensus or something, or?
Yes, I mean, I think you should give direction.
Okay. We've got something here to acknowledge, so.
But you want to keep going on that policy?
Yeah.
And direct me?
Yeah. Direct you
To make it official.
to change it in the LDO, to write an ordinance. So, do I have a motion to accept the building height as presented?
I make a motion to accept the building height within the special flood hazard area.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Hang on, Lance. Come on. Yeah, come on. What you got?
I just want to clarify, because I haven't seen that or read it, is that is shade X elevation plus a foot and a half?
Yeah.
500, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's what you're concerned about.
Okay, perfect. That's all on that.
Yeah, got you. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any comments? Call the roll.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Lowey?
Yes.
Okay. And then as a directive, without a motion, but just you now know what needs to be done to make that work right in the LDR.
I need to make it official.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Gina.
Good.
All right. Moving to staff, city administrator, you're up.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I have several things here. The first thing I'd like to address is the trash service and sanitation department concerning this week. Just to be clear, regular trash pickup today. Wednesday's route tomorrow, we'll be picking up Thursday's trash. And since we're closed on Friday, which is Veterans Day, we'll pick up Friday's trash on Thursday. So we're moving people up a day on Wednesday and Thursday. The other one, since we're talking about that, to pick up for the weekend, of Thanksgiving, which is coming up later this month, is Monday regular trash, Tuesday regular trash. Wednesday we will pick up Thursday's route. Everybody will take off Thursday for the holiday, and then they'll pick up Friday's regular trash. So that's also on our website. We'll make sure we keep everybody cleaned up and proper, but it's out on Facebook and the website, but I want to make it clear in this meeting so you guys understood. Any questions about that? All right. The next thing I'd like to ask is last year we had we made some changes to a couple of our meetings during the holiday season, so I thought that would bring that to your attention so if you guys wanted to discuss that. We have a regular council meeting set up for Tuesday the 22nd, which is prior to Thanksgiving. Do you have any things you want to change for that meeting or keep it as scheduled?
I'm okay with it.
Is everybody gonna be here? I mean, or enough of us? Then I think we should stay on schedule.
Okay. Since we're discussing that, I'd like to discuss the one for December. So the Christmas holiday goes over the weekend of the 24th and 25th. Tuesday the 27th, we have a regular scheduled meeting. Just want to make sure everybody's available for that meeting following. Last year, I think we got rid of the one between
We
Christmas and
did,
New Year's.
and we have done that for a number of years.
I just want to make sure.
And I
somebody
think
tell
we
me.
should this year.
Yeah, I will not be here.
I think that's just a tough time to try to make that work.
Get to see
Unless
what
there's something that comes up that is, some type of, something between now and then that says, hey, we can schedule something if need be, but maybe not on that date.
Okay, so good. We'll get that formally canceled. And remember, in January we have an added meeting for the public forum. So we'll get more information for that as we get closer. But all right, the next item is just a reminder: the city's closed on Friday this week for observance of Veterans Day. I just got a call this morning from Mike Guy, the lieutenant from Fish and Wildlife, and bears are really very, very active right now. Oleander and 4th Street last night, and there's a really big one. He called him a stud. I don't know. So if you got your dogs out, it was around 11 o'clock at night last night. Dogs, small animals, keep them close. Be on the lookout for these bears. They're a couple more weeks of really beefing up for the season. So keep your trash locked and put away. Put it out in the mornings and try to watch out for your pets. The next item is the boat ramp entrance is moving along just fine so far as we discussed. We've been working on some speeding throughout that road on 36th Street. The sheriff's office has done a good job for that. So if there's any questions about the entrance, I think we're moving quite well there. The last thing to add is the golf cart parade and the tree lighting coming up. So December the 4th, this is also on the website and the CDC site, at Parker Park on December the 4th at 6 p.m. The golf cart parade will start early at 5 p.m. Central Time from under the Palms Park, and then we've worked out a path, and we're going to have a great event that night with the tree lighting, and Tommy and his staff are working on some excellent decorations to get up, and it's just really going to be a great time. The sheriff's going to have their food trailer there. We're passing out some cocoa and some stuff like that. So it's really going to be a nice event. A couple of the other businesses in town, like Mexico Beach Sweets, and some of those want to get involved and bring out some free stuff for the families and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really nice event, kind of a carnival type theme, I guess it'll be, but it'll be really nice. That's on December the 4th. So we have those sign-up sheets. You can call Tracy Gaddis. She said to give out her cell phone number, 850-227-6770, for the golf cart waiver. You need to get that in before the day of the event. And then we also have the CDC website. The City Hall has the applications as well as the information available. Other than that, that's about all I can rattle through, sir.
What's the parade? What's that parade route?
We're getting that worked out this week.
Lieutenant's working with her, with Tracy Gaddis on the parade.
He was working
Oh, okay.
last night.
But they start under the Palms Park and make their way to Parker Park.
And then by your house last year. Played the circle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like it too.
So they're going to do the route and then come to.
So they should all be there when the parade gets to Parker Park. Then Santa Claus will show up. We'll do the tree lighting, all that kind of stuff. Everybody should have the chance to watch the tree lighting. We're going to coordinate that.
Good. That's what I was trying to do.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, they start at 5. They get there by 6. We do the tree lighting at 6, and we're good to go.
Yes, sir.
I participated last year for the first time, and I think the tree lighting last year was before we got there. So that's a goal we look towards.
We're fixing, we're gonna do a better job.
It was a great route last year. It went about an hour and a half. We had the big shark on the top of it.
All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're gonna end up coming back up through Joe Drive, through Nana, by City Hall, up by 21st Street over in Parker Park. So that's where it's gonna end up through there, but we haven't finalized the actual route yet. Gonna get this week, it'll be finished up.
And we're gonna get them there prior to the
Yes, sir.
tree
Yeah.
lighting.
That's gonna be there.
Hell or high water, I think they say.
Are you the person that we call? I just want to know who to call.
Okay, let's give person that flips the switch.
Marty's telephone number now.
He is flipping this week.
All right. Thank you. All right.
These guys have put together really nice decorations. We're going to decorate Sunset Park with some nice stuff around that, as well as Parker Park. So it should look very festive. They got all the pole lights done. We restrung those with new LED lights this year and painted them up. The elves have been very busy.
Turkey trot now too.
Yes, sir. At 8 a.m. that morning. I think signups have already ended for that, so I didn't talk about
Well,
it.
that's Thanksgiving, right?
That's Thanksgiving. But I'm just saying that's another event in town. Is the turkey trot
Yes.
on Thanksgiving morning.
You can come drag me along. My wife and kids will be there.
I'm gonna have my decorations up, I reckon, in a lot of size, so. Things of traffic in my area.
Anything else, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Turner.
Yes, unfortunately, I do have to report to the council that JEA did notify me yesterday that they're initiating the arbitration process with regards to the mutual aid agreement that we had. So we're moving forward. Our next step is to pick who our arbitrators are going to be. We get to pick one, they pick one, and then the two that is picked picks a third one. This is a first run at this process. It's never been done through the Flaw Warren arbitration process. I feel confident in our case, and we got to move forward.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Got anything, Rick?
I got a couple things to add.
Go.
Well, don't kill me. I want to go back to RVs for a second, just because this is the item I get the most calls for and interest in the last week that I've ever had. I have about an equal number telling me extend it, as I have the equal number telling me to end it. So I just want some clarification, just so everybody's on the same page, public understands. 778 ended October 31st. No exemptions. It's over. Exceptions, right, on the RVs.
I gave 14-day notice to have it removed, so therefore, if it's not removed in those number of days, we're going to shut off the water and the sewer, and it'll affect their building permit status.
Okay. Another question I get asked is, we can still park our personally owned RV and camper in our house. We just can't have any utilities connected.
You can have electric hooked up to it.
You can't have electric hooked up.
But not water and sewer. You can't sleep in the loop.
Got it. All right. It's been the most contentious calling, and that's why I'm just trying to get factual information of where we're at, because I probably can't tell you the number of people that have called in favor and the number of people that have called against it. So I just want to see that we're all on the same page. No exceptions, October 31st.
Well, that's what we said.
Okay.
Right, that's what we said back
January.
January. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I mine was Adrian. I mean, I got, when they all was four of them live in my neighborhood now, so. I wish there might be a way. We got one right. I mean, he's got 5 children that I'm more worried about the rest of them, but the ones that they are trying, but I don't know what we could do because we did pass the ordinance, so I believe that up to.
The ordinance has a caveat in there for the city administrator, okay?
So I see it. That's him. So I'm not making any suggestions. I said it's going to be in your hands what you think you need to do.
The only comment that I can make related to that is it was clear on the end date. It allowed me to make changes throughout the policy if we had something that came up, but not anything to extend it. That was.
Yeah, and I do agree, and like Rich had said earlier, there has to be a date. It has to end at some point. But, yeah.
I just had 2 things real quick. Publicly, I listened on to the P&Z last night and several other times listening to some back meetings, council meetings, and I'm going to tell you that I don't think that system is working. We're going to be here another 3 or 4 years. I believe the public deserves to have a good forum if they're gonna stay home and we tell them to listen to it online. And this system is not working. I think we need to look at a zone system that's maybe here, midway, and back. The other thing is I honestly believe that we should take our agenda and project it so that the audience can see what the heck we're going through. That's just a couple suggestions. They're both public.
Okay, is the system for P&Z, is it the same as what we have?
It did. Last night we had a technical difficulty.
There was some difficulties last night.
Yeah, she was just holding her phone.
She had to hold it. It didn't work online. She had to improvise and do it. Use her cell phone. So that was
So it's not, it would be the
It's
same.
not the norm, but I'm definitely in favor. I can look forward to upgrading it. We thought we had a quick fix. Let me see what I can do. We are going to be here for a little while. I think that I can come up with the AIT and IT department and come up with a solution and take care of it for us. So I will work forward for that. And the projection item, I totally agree with you. We're trying to get to that point where it sets up like a PowerPoint, and we should have. I've done that several times as testing, but we're trying to get that into a pattern. So I'll work on that. Yes, sir.
Bob, you got anything?
I'm good.
I got one thing. Next week, we're going to have one of the top leaders in Samaritan's Purse that will be in Port St. Joe, and we're going to give our check. And some of you may know we had a donation. We joint ventured with the City of Port St. Joe on a joint donation venture to support those affected by Ian. I'm proud to say that we're going to be close to $30,000 in donations, and we picked Samaritan's Purse mainly because of they were just so visible here and made many great contributions to our community during the time of our need. So to those who may have contributed, the City of Mexico Beach put in $5,000. I want to thank ACDC for their contribution to our pool. They're our disaster contractor that has been here and has been part of our recovery for almost 4 years now that they have been here. And also the City of Panama City gave us some money. In the Gulf County side, they have also been collecting. So that's going to happen. I don't know the date. I don't know when the gentleman was going to be able to get here for sure, but I just wanted to say thank you publicly to those who have made an effort to donate, and we think it's a great cause. And we continue to pray for those folks down there. They have, wow, they got just got a mess, and our heart goes out to them. All right, last call. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All right, thank you everyone for coming.